Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from 5 and 20 Spirits. This is their rye whiskey finished in sherry casks, coming in at a 49.5% ABV, at least 18 months old. So for full disclosure, I reached out to 5 and 20 Spirits for a review sample. They were kind enough to send this over for us to take a look at and a review. So just keeping that transparency open. Now when it comes to 5 and 20 Spirits, they're actually based out of New York, and they have kind of two sides to their business. One side being their brewery side, one side being spirit sides. And I've really fell in love with their process coming from a craft distillery that's being transparent. And that's something that we love seeing here on the channel, because that tells me how proud you are of what you're making. So this is their rye whiskey that is comprised of 80% New York rye and 20% New York barley. It is aged 18 months and then put into a sherry cask, and not just any sherry cask, their own Mazza Vineyards American sherry. So they freshly dump that sherry out and add their rye whiskey in there within 24 hours, like that quick. And that's to get the most impact from that barrel on that rye whiskey. And then it's left in that barrel for 3.5 years. I want you to think about that for a minute. I don't know if I've ever had anything finish in a barrel for 3.5 years, especially a sherry cask, which obviously makes sense. Look at that color. So I'm beyond excited because I'm a sherry fan, and seeing what they're doing with their craft really makes me excited. Let's hop into the bottle and see how things go. I always love pointing this out. I love their bottle design, these kind of square, elongated bottles. Really cool. Helps showcase that spirit from any angle. Just for the little things, you know. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you'd like. If you're interested in some of the other reviews over 5 and 20 Spirits that I've done, links to those videos will be up above and down below, along with a link to a website so you can check it out for yourself, learn a little bit more about the process, and maybe find one in your area to pick up or order. God, that color. I am grinning from ear to ear. That is I mean, you might as well, I mean, it looks like as dark as like red wine. Like that is cherry dark. That is gorgeous on there. Oh my. Look at that. Oh, I'm excited. Let's go for notes. You can't be serious. That nose. And I want this to, I'm going to put this on the record. I have over 300 bottles right now. Hopefully the wife isn't watching. She knows. And I've had my fair share of sherry cask finishes. The nose on this already is the best sherry cask nose I have ever experienced. The rich depth going on here, the creaminess. I just can't wrap my head around it. It is so dark and rich and velvety as well, even on the nose. Like you're getting those deep, dark fruits, blackberry, blueberry, raspberry, berry at this point. You can name it, it's probably in the mix. It's got a waxiness to it. Beautiful spiciness going on here from that rye. So you're getting a bit of herbal and more just like baking spices going on. Based on the nose itself, like I am floored. And again, 3.5 years in that barrel. And I love their standard rye. For 18 months, I think their standard rye is phenomenal. That nose, however, that is otherworldly. It's rich, it's decadent, it's dessert like something that you'd find at like a 5-star restaurant where you're having this little thin slice of like cheesecake and you're getting these drizzle lines down the sides of deep rich compote going on. Yeah, and the spice layers in there, a little oakiness, charriness, the caramel is showing up, and again that creamy vanilla going on in there for the base. That is the fruitiest sherry nose I've ever had. I'm enthralled. Let's go for a sip. I don't even know what to say on that. I really don't know what to say. That is... Can I just say delicious? I don't even think like that's a word I should use to describe this. Like, that doesn't even hold a candle to it. How rich and velvety and soft and sweet and fruit forward that is. But the rye still comes through. I'm shocked. I was expecting that rye to be really hidden by the sherry cask, and it's not. However, obviously, it's still, you get a lot of that sherry impact, but the flat out taste brings across those deep, rich, fruity notes going on. Some nuttiness in there too. The charriness from that cask. And then it kind of lifts up a bit, bringing out the spiciness of their rye, a little herbal and cinnamon stick and a little bit of clove and just a light bit of waxiness in there from that 20% barley going on. It's phenomenal. Like, it's otherworldly yet again. Dang if that ain't good. Dark, rich cherries and almost like chocolate covered cherry, like homemade chocolate covered cherries. Like you're finding those rich Michigan cherries and a dark chocolate in there. That waxiness is gorgeously soft. And the fruit layers from that sherry cask just keep rolling deeper and richer. The finish on it is just forever. And it is so beautiful on that because it just lingers so beautifully. And the finish lingers to a T. Like, this is something that you want like after dinner, and you want something a little sweet. And surprisingly, it's not over oaked or tannin. It's just got just enough going on in there. Don't get me wrong, it's still got some oaky and some tannins going on, but the process is so cohesive throughout, it doesn't overtake or ruin the sip. I love the rich factors going on in here. And then you're getting those bit of spiciness, that waxy layer, the deep, rich fruits going on. Cola, like a dark cola, like homemade, like, I shouldn't say homemade, but like, you know, kind of craft soda. That's what it is. It's a craft cola soda going on in here. Maybe even with a little splash of grenadine going on. I'm lost for words at this point because I feel like I could keep sitting here and just pulling more notes out because it is very complex. For that age statement and that finishing process is super complex. If I have to nitpick anything, and this is me pulling the smallest of smallest nitpicks, it's a micron of a bitterness going on in there. The smallest of bitter notes, and it's barely noticeable. I had super high hopes, and it beat those hopes and made itself a phenomenal pour. I cannot argue a bit on that. Wow. All right. Well, let's talk about a grade for this bad boy. You have a craft distillery out of New York using local grains. You're using a age statement on your rye. Big thumbs up on the transparencies. And then you're using your own American sherry casks to hone in that flavor profile. Amazing ideas here. Props on that. Plus that finishing time on that barrel blows my mind. This is typically found like in that sub $60 price range, sometimes as low as like $55 to $65. To be honest, in my book, it's an A. Yeah, there's not much more you could do better on that. It's an A in my book. Well worth not only buying a bottle, but enjoying that bottle with friends, making those memories, and buying a second one. And again, if you're interested in learning more about 5 and 20 spirits, I have a URL down in the description area below. Go check them out and show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. 5 and 20 spirits, rye whiskey finished in sherry casks. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
Up until whatever, day before yesterday, it was like 60% rain, showers on top, you know, and I even like it might not.